Hello my friends, I hope you all had a great weekend and a great start to the new week. A few days ago I made a video regarding the statues that Bungie artist Andrew Kreutzer made, and later deleted. Originally, today's video was going to be about something different, but after receiving some potentially valuable information about this image, the plan changed. I think most people can recognize that this statue is inspired by the artistic style of ancient human civilizations, specifically that of ancient Greece or Rome. The material of the stone, the style of the clothing, and the structure of the body really show this. Now, my personal suspicion had been at first that this was based off of a Greek or Roman god. I couldn't put my name on it. In fact, I wasn't even sure if it was a guy or a girl, but if it was based off of a god, my guess at the time was Helios, but that really was a guess, to be honest with you. I want to be clear that I'm not claiming that this is the truth of this mystery revealed 100%, as we truly just don't know anything for certain, but my gut instinct is telling me to look more into this, and maybe you should too. I should probably start saying this more often, but don't just rely on me for this type of content or information. Take what you can from these videos, but search for yourself as well. This video, after all, is because of somebody who did just that. Oh yeah, and thank you so much for all the kind words and the support that you have shown me the last couple of days. It inspires me to do my best, it really does. Thank you. Okay, with all that being said, let's get into it. When I made that initial video a few days ago, I also made a post on the Destiny Raid Secrets Reddit. Being Reddit, I wasn't exactly sure what kind of response I was going to get, but overall, it was very positive, and I'm grateful for that. The most upvoted comment was by CP1094. I really want to say Captain when reading that, maybe that was the intention, I don't know about you. But anyways, they had this to say. A few things. I am far from the first person to make these connections. 1. The woman statue shown is an incomplete version of Irene, the Greek goddess or personification of peace. The part that is missing from this concept art is the child held in the left arm, Plutos, the god of plenty or wealth, an allegory of plenty and wealth prospering under peace. 3. If you notice on the image with the white statue, you will see two dark statues on the left and right that appear to be the same statue but headless. And the third facing the statue also appears about the same as those two, but with a head emerging from the darkness. 4. This statue can be found in-game, in the European pyramid, far off in the distance, complete with a child and black coloring. This was very interesting to read, and I don't know if you'll ever see this man, but thank you for making this comment. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you about this god, and after, I'm gonna give you my overall thoughts on this possible clue. After that, I'm gonna leave it in your hands. Please form your own opinions and share them with me. At the same time, I'll leave resources about the god in the description, so if you want to do some digging for yourself, I got you, fam. Alright, let the history lesson begin. Irene is an ancient Greek goddess. She was the daughter of Zeus and Themis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. As our boy already stated, she was seen as the personification of peace, and as I'll get into it soon, the peace after war. Now, I'm unsure if she was only created at this time, or if this is just when the cult that surrounded her was made, but after a victory over Sparta in 375 BC, the Athenians began the widespread worship of this deity, creating monuments in her name. It was around 371 BC that the original version of this statue was created. Interestingly enough, it was made from bronze and not marble. However, the reason for this was to show that since the time of war was over, resources like bronze could be used to create art instead of armaments. This marble version would be later created by the Romans. Irene was often depicted carrying a scepter in one hand and the child Plutos in the other. Plutos represented wealth. I believe the concept here is that the growth of wealth and prosperity could only begin once peace was achieved. Now, this is my own addition, but I wonder if Plutos never grew to be an adult or was never depicted growing to be an adult due to the fact that war always returns and that peace is short-lived. But hey, that's just the waffle of my English degree talking. Irene had two sisters, Eunomia, who represented order, and Dike, who represented justice. These three were called the Horai and were the goddesses of the seasons. It's possible that Irene ended up being the inspiration for the Roman god Pax, as they both represented the same thing. Storytime concluded. What did you think? Did I bore you out of your minds, or was it okay? Either way, I'm glad you survived. Good job. What does this have to do with destiny, if anything? Let's find out. There's two ways that this is gonna go, and we need to be mindful of both. Either Bungie is just taking the likeness of these characters and making new ones with them, or they are trying to integrate the mythology of ancient humanity into the story by having versions of these gods appear as characters. I'm going to address both options. If this statue only has the likeness of Irene and nothing more, then the identity of this person is still unknown. However, the lesson to be taken away from it remains the same. I had a guy comment that this video aged well because the statues never made it into the game. But that was never the point. This statue, along with all the others I've ever shown, shows Bungie's mindset. It shows the direction that they are going in, and it helps us predict what is going to happen. That's the point of these videos. This isn't just the lore for the lore's sake. It's us taking an active approach and using lore of all forms, not just written, to try and predict the future. Before, we only had bare bones statues with no real details on them. This statue alone gives us far more information than they ever could. Get out of here, Patoy. Long story short, this statue confirms that we are looking at a strong link between ancient humanity and the pyramid race. And for the people who still don't believe that such a race exists...
Is that like a personal attack or something? Do you think I should?
We'll see. Now, if this is Irene, or any god for that matter, what do I think? It's tricky. The only way that I can make it make sense in my mind is if I tie it into my theory. So, apologies if I sound presumptuous or anything like that. This is just kind of how I'm thinking at the moment. We know for a fact that the pyramid race were given the light, and we know that they have an indisputable link to ancient humanity. If it turns out that they actually were from ancient humanity, then I could see a lot of these gods of mythology being potential light bearers. Okay, let's skip forward a bit. If in this universe Irene actually existed and was a light bearer, what do I think then? I don't yet fully understand the hierarchy of the pyramid race. What I do know, however, was that there weren't a bajillion gods in our mythology. So, if this theory is true, then most likely you had a relatively small group of light bearers mixed in with the non-light bearers. So my honest guess, okay, and this is just a guess for the record, is that this character of Irene would have had considerable authority within the ranks of the Black Fleet. Maybe she had her own ship or a group of them. And I just forgot, in the game version of the statues, we potentially have the baby shown as well. Now listen, we can't say it's a baby for certain, okay? Yes, it's plausible, and perhaps even most likely, but I don't believe anybody can say it is 100% the case. But if it is, then the only thing we can really go off of is the fact that Plutos was also a god, not just a random babby that she was holding. So, yeah, take that with a grain of salt or whatever. I'm not going to go too much into this. I feel like there's so much unknown about this character specifically in mythology that, you know, it is what it is. But that's all I'm going to say about the alleged diaper destroyer. In conclusion, where do I think this character is now? If they actually are a character in-game, then it's one of two places. In my opinion, this looks like a tomb. They're buried in something after all. So, either it is a tomb, representing that the character is dead or contained somewhere, or they're with the rest of the race, which would make sense if what I've heard is true. But that's for a different video. So, what do you guys think? Are we one step closer to discovering the identity of this character? Or was this entire video a glorified history lesson and nothing else? Hey, I'd say your parents would be happy to know that you were continuing your education outside of school. And let's be honest, it was probably easier to sit through this than a lot of the history classes you've had in the past. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be entertaining or informative. For this one, it had to be both. Come on, I hit the wombo combo this time. I know it, you know it, that's the truth. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.
For humanity.